This company is a category disruptor, category creator, and a platform that has really carried forward the e-commerce wave in India. I'm talking about Shiprocket, and we have with us Sahil Goel, who's the co-founder and CEO.
Does that यार D2C में तो फंडिंग नहीं हो रही है क्या होगा Shiprocket का यार बॉस SMEs of India have and always will be.
Correct.
They are the backbone, right? 50% export MSME से आता है, 33-34% GDP MSME से आती है, तो मतलब what are we debating, right?
Correct.
It's the largest employer.
On this technological shift, how do you adapt?
And I think it's something that everybody should hear and learn, because honestly, communication itself as a country is broken in India. It is a once in a generation opportunity because it can change how everything is done.
आपने qualitative side पे what have you discovered about yourself?
You have to make your job interesting somehow. And as a leader, if the founder of the company or the CEO of the company, you can.
2012, if you were talking to yourself again, what would you tell yourself?
Don't die.
Hello. Before we get started with this episode, I quickly wanted to share that we are now a part of
01 Network by Zerodha.
Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to the Indian Silicon Valley podcast. I'm your host Jivraj, and today I have with me an extremely special guest. This company is a category disruptor, category creator, and a platform that has really carried forward the e-commerce wave in India. I'm talking about Shiprocket, and we have with us Sahil Goel, who's the co-founder and CEO, and we'll decode the entire business today. Thank you so much, Sahil, for joining me today.
Thank you, Jivraj. Pleasure being here.
I'm so excited to be hosting you because I really mean it. As a student of like Indian startups, I see that there are very few companies which are platform businesses, category creators, India first businesses, right? And I think you checkmark all of these. I want to understand the breadth of the business that is today, because we've heard the story before about how you got started and how you pivoted into this, and I'll get there. But if you can talk to us about what beyond shipping aggregation does Shiprocket do, which is the primary thing that people might know as a general consumer, but I'm sure the brands already know. So if you can give us a sense of the size of the business, that'll be great. The verticals, you have checkout, you have the US business, that'll be great. Let's start there and then we'll go into the journey.
No, absolutely. I think before going into what parts of the stack we power, I think it's important to understand who we do it for.
Yes, the customer.
So basically there is a 50 million MSMEs in India, out of which 10 to 15 million are digitally enabled today from a commerce perspective.
Sure.
And these SMEs are in three broad categories. There is the digital natives. So think everybody which is a social seller on Instagram. There's millions of those people. There's folks selling exclusively on marketplaces, exclusively on D2C, or in a mix of both. There are micro marketplaces in categories, right? Selling toys, selling skincare, selling imported skincare. So there's all these like niches that have bloomed in the last 10 years of e-commerce in India. These are all your digital natives. You've then got the offline retailers of similar categories, which are lifestyle categories. These are folks who are who have a shop, they want to retail stuff, and they are getting digital leads online already, right? And then you've got the export-oriented SMEs. Again, there's digital ones that drop ship on marketplaces. And then you've got the kind of offline, either sending through traditional distribution, or through a bulk buyer for a marketplace as well, right? So semi-digital, let me put it this way. This kind of base of merchants in India typically has been served in the world by only platforms, right? Subscription-based, software-based businesses have not really been able to cater to them, right? Even if you look at US's largest commerce enabler, e-commerce enabler, Shopify, they are actually not really a subscription business today, right? Good 70% of their revenue actually comes from processing, payments, shipping, stuff like that. And then obviously the rest is through the software. So, and that's what it took for them to become big. And I think the point I'm making is that we realize that platform is the way to do this. But that being said, there is a platform where you become the middleman, right? Which is what a lot of the marketplace models are built on, which serve the consumer. I don't think they serve the merchant very well. And then you've got platforms like Shopify and Shiprocket that actually put the merchant at the center of their universe, and then they design everything around it in terms of what the merchant needs, right? So that's kind of what we do. So we enable commerce, right? We're about 200,000 merchants strong. We power more than 25,000 rupees of GMV for our merchants. So meaningful player in the market, right? Hundreds of millions of transactions every year. We've done about north of 500 million deliveries till date, right? So and we've done this without actually owning any assets. So we don't own fleets, we don't own warehouses, we don't own machines like sorter. We own none of that stuff, right? We've built it like an operating system or a platform where today Shiprocket connects into couriers of logistics companies of all types, modes, size, scale, right? So we can do hyperlocal, right? Today through Shiprocket Quick, we are doing PTL, FTL through Shiprocket Cargo. We have Shiprocket Fulfillment Center networks. We obviously do the national courier through our various partners. We have same-day delivery, next-day delivery networks. So this is all logistics, right, for our digital natives and for the offline merchants. We are doing cross-border into the UK and US for merchants sitting in India exporting. We'll soon be exploring import as well, right, for the same merchants or different set of merchants. So we're trying to basically go after the backbone for the backbone of the country, which is merchants, SMEs, to power their logistics in a more modern way, right? And I think India still has high cost of logistics as a percentage of total sales. There's lots of inefficiencies. There's a lot of knowledge arbitrage, that people are sort of monetizing. And we believe that that's not the long-term way to, make merchants succeed or make business succeed. Long-term way is to basically be able to, bring intuitive experiences to merchants, make it very, very easy. Now AI is available that can really unlock much more value than before. And it is to be able to connect the right, sets of services, whether it's payments or checkout or shipping and so on, right, to the merchant at the right time in a workflow that they can understand. I think that's kind of how we solve the platform. I don't think it's been done anywhere else in the world in this way. Of course, there's inspirations and examples, but I think it's a very, very for India kind of a problem. And India is big. Why not? Why shouldn't it be?
Absolutely.
So I think, long story short, to answer your question, I think we basically serve merchants on their shipping and logistics, all things logistics. Anybody who is as small as doing one order a day to hundreds of thousands of orders a day, right, can scale on the platform. And then on the pre-order stack, we help merchants with their growth. So we run our checkout business, which is very, very fast growing. It's a single sign-on network. It serves merchants by giving them higher conversion rates, better trust, so kind of replicating the marketplace experience. We help merchants with powering their ads with insights that we gather through trillions of data points that we've acquired through our transactions. So to better inform them, so, to reduce their mistakes in terms of targeting and campaign building and so on. We also help them with their marketing automation, both on-site and off-site. So we've tried to build a stack for the merchant to say, look, everything from, getting insights on what to sell where, using Shiprocket Trends, for example, to then using our ad stack to power, make decisions on what kind of ads to run, running your marketing automation through our Engage platform, running Shiprocket Checkout to boost conversions and, buyer experience. And then basically our post-order workflows take over, right? Where everything from if the inventory is lying in merchant warehouse, our warehouse, what's the ETA, what is the pickup time, what processing needs to be done, what packaging needs to be done. All of that is digitally managed, right? And it's managed in a way, why it's complex is because, I use the example of Apple and Android. And as an Apple user, and maybe I'll regret this 5 years down the line, maybe we should be Apple, I don't know, right?
Sure.
But right now my view is, for India especially, that, as an Apple user, you'll find that the ecosystem is just amazing, right? Everything works, just works, right? Because they've got to support one set of hardware that they build and control. And yes, it brings a great experience, but there's a price for it, right? And then you've got Android, which is sort of hardware compatible, right? It'll work across hardware. It's open source in some ways. It's got extensions built in. And it is used by more people, far more people around the world, right? But the experience will always be, few percentage points less because it's got to now support different hardware.
Sure.
Right? But what software is more valuable? Is it Android or is it? So I don't know. My belief is that for a country like India, if we are to take the ecosystem along, which is, various enablers, single point enablers like payments, shipping and so on, and then all sizes and shapes of merchants, we actually think that India needs its own commerce equivalent Android to say, look, it can work with all of these guys. Billing is handled, credit is handled, all of that is built for you, right? You don't come and negotiate contracts. You come in, you get everything you need. The interfaces are designed in a way, we recently at Shivir launched our demo on using our entire dashboard with voice, right? So you could speak to it. I think you missed it, but you could speak to it and you could say, show me my pending orders. Okay, Jivraj ka order ship kar do, and it'll say okay, मैंने ship कर दिया. Label print कर दो, and you can just talk to it, right? So what it can do is the interface element of our business is very important because that's how we are able to get all of these hardware to be able to talk to the merchant. I mean, to be able to be consumed by the merchant through the software, right? I mean, I use that analogy because I sometimes feel it helps people understand why we are different in what we do. So we are not the hardware and don't want to be.
Yeah, you're building the operating
We want
system.
to be the OS where the merchants stick to us, our users stick to us, and whatever they need from insurance to returns, right, is offered on this platform. And it's not like resold. It's done in a way where it's built as a solution, stitched back into the same fabric of the overall platform. And that is how you'll see many products constantly coming from this house of Shiprocket in a way, because that's what's needed for the merchant to be able to be more and more successful in the coming times for them.
Yeah, no, that's massive. I think that's what I love about the ecosystem is like if you go to a merchant, a brand, and they want to use beyond the existing marketplaces, anything, they have to come to you and they can use any of those solutions. In fact, I'm curious to understand, like, what is your mental model to say that this is what we launch next, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you started with logistics, then you built the warehousing, then you built, now you have capital, you have the checkout, you have multiple things. You could build customer support, you could build anything else, right? What is the mental model for you to understand which is the biggest next growth lever? And in a place which is ever evolving, right? Right now, there is AI, there is quick commerce, there is XYZ. How do you manage some of these tailwinds and say that this is where we'll actually accelerate?
So it's a great question, right? And this is the one we ask ourselves every day to some extent. And I think two-part answer. One is there is a little bit of playbook where we've spent enough time. We spent over a decade in this market now, and clearly can call ourselves experts to some extent, right? What we found is that typically the SMBs we deal with, there's really only two main things they care about, right? It's like grow my business, help me sell more, or help me improve my bottom line. There's anything beyond that is a vitamin. It's not a painkiller.
Fair enough.
So I know this is very trivial and it sounds very obvious, but we even now sometimes have the tendency to make that mistake. When you're thinking product, you're thinking solution. And we've tried it many times to know that no, वो नहीं चलता वो. It's all good to have. So a lot of the US stuff that वहाँ पे amazing businesses बन जाते हैं,
productivity, वो सारी चीजें नहीं
वो free में दे दो आप as a hook. आ जाएगा, they want to use it. उसमें you can't make money on it.
Correct.
Because the Indian businessmen are very smart. They're smarter than us.
Correct.
Right? As engineers, they are entrepreneurs, boss. They are hustlers.
Yeah.
So they know where to spend their paisa, right?
Okay. To increase revenue or increase bottom line.
ठीक है, तो you figure out a way to latch onto that, right? Then you start deconstructing. Okay, what does that? ठीक है, RTO is a big problem. And RTO is not a shipping problem.
Correct.
People are very confused. People think कि वो courier की problem है. It is a through and through problem. कौन सा buyer आया, आपने क्या बोला, what did they...
Optimization.
Yeah, I mean, optimization and like filtering almost, right? Who did you target? If you target a wrong buyer, they're more bound to bounce, right? When you then fraud. Then there's obviously supply chain management as well. So that's through and through. That's a huge problem for the market. So as you start identifying where are their revenue leakages, where are their profit losses and so on, you start to plug them, right? So I think more or less that is the macro train to say, okay, keep at it. Number one. Number two, we actually have successful models of marketplaces that are doing extremely well in India, whether on the traditional side or the quick side.
Yeah.
I like how we call them traditional now, but whatever, right? Or on the quick side, where we know, ki, okay, merchant side, consumer side, expectation ye hai, right? When we built our warehousing network, that came from a cry from our merchants saying, boss, if you guys don't give me 1 day, 2 day, all my business will go to the marketplace, right? So how will I have my own channel? And that's kind of how it started, along with the fact that it was COVID.
Yeah.
And a lot of people couldn't operate at all.
Correct.
So it was like a big painkiller at that point, saying, look, I can't get these orange, green, red passes. I don't know how to do this. Why don't you take a shared warehouse in Bangalore and just start for us? That's how it started. And then it's okay, we can actually do quick deliveries from here. And why don't we pull a page out of the marketplace? So, and I think checkout was the same thing. That people said, when I put this product on Amazon, when I put this product on a marketplace, I get, out of 100 people, 6 people buy it. Right. But when I put the same thing on my own website, only 2 people are buying it. Why is there a gap?
Correct.
And while part of it might be targeting and, who you brought, I think the issue is trust.
Right.
For an Indian consumer, when they buy on a marketplace, they get the protection guarantee. They know it's a big brand. They know they'll get their money back. But when they're buying from a brand website that they don't know of, they actually have a lot of questions. Will I get it?
Yeah.
Is the right quality and so on, right?
Yeah.
as we started uncovering how to solve this issue, we realized that this issue is not actually of payments. This is an issue of trust, and that's how the checkout was built. So we put a widget on the PDP that says, okay, powered by Shiprocket, it is coming on such and such date. So that visibility of ye kab aa raha hai is there from the product page itself. We push that information back to the ad feed as well. So on your ad, you can say that it's coming tomorrow, right? Then you take it to checkout. There we have a single sign-on. You log in, we pull your address. So there's a little bit of security, right, mentally that the user has. And we have a consumer app, right, called My Shiprocket, where they can go and track the order, raise complaints. So it closes the loop, very similar to a marketplace, but it's not a marketplace.
Correct.
It is still the merchant's business. We are there to help them serve the consumer. Right? So that's the sort of philosophy with which we will always run. Right? It's not that we don't prioritize the consumer. We prioritize the consumer as a means to an end for the merchant.
Absolutely.
And I think that difference between our philosophy and that of a marketplace will always stay, right? Because for a marketplace, the consumer is the be all end all. The merchant is a means to an end. They'll happily replace the merchant or the supplier.
Correct.
Or become the merchant or the supplier, right? In many cases. In our case, it's the opposite, right? We've got all of these users who need tools. World has proven SaaS works. People need this, right?
Correct.
The meaning of this in India is how we have made it as a platform, right? That's kind of how we've delivered.
That's amazing. I think that framework is very strong and could be applied like in many other sort of
100%.
company building exercises as well. I love that. Let's maybe take a step back. I want to understand two things from you because you've been at the cusp of like Indian e-commerce, right? If you had to define to us or like just share insights as to how commerce from a brand side has evolved and how consumption from a consumer side has evolved. I think that'll be super interesting to understand from your vantage point. So let's say what was India consuming in 2015 to what are they doing today in 2025, and what were brands focusing on earlier that they are focusing on today. I would love to understand that from you.
Exact numbers मेरे को याद नहीं है, but मतलब I'll tell you. So in 2015, so we launched Shiprocket. I mean, this version of our business called Shiprocket in 2017, 17. I think उस समय D2C was not a thing. I remember going to journalists asking me कि what the hell is D2C?
Correct.
I'm telling them direct to consumer.
That would not be even a word, right?
हाँ,
like
even investors नहीं था. मतलब
हाँ.
US में था, they would call it DTC.
Correct.
Direct to consumer. Shopify was doing a bunch of like promotion. It had become a market there. India में it was nothing. Like in fact, most people thought that why will a consumer ever buy outside of the marketplace? And like we said, but they are.
Yeah.
We're seeing it happen, and like we don't know how big it becomes, but it's the right.
Early signs were there.
तो एक तो overall the market was only consuming on marketplaces, है ना?
कितने shoppers होंगे? 5-10 मिलियन?
देखो यार आज 250 कितने 250
है?
आज पूछ रहे हो आप? आज तो 250-300 मिलियन है आराम से. 250-300 तो है ही. Between 200-300, चलो depending on which.
But regular तो I'm guessing is sub 100 million. I'm guessing, नहीं? Okay. Frequency is high.
I don't think so. I think there's मतलब see regular मतलब क्या है?
मतलब I'm guessing like
couple
unique versus couple of orders a year.
हाँ तो अगर 300 होगा तो वो 150 होगा मेरे ख्याल से. 50 नहीं होगा लेकिन.
ठीक.
Is my gut. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
ठीक है. Proxying my own data का ratios.
हाँ.
that's what I'm
thinking.
हिसाब से ऐसा कुछ होगा, right? तो इतना बुरा नहीं है. By the way, I think buyers are there, but the AOVs is where you'll. It's not.
See, correct.
Yeah, you'll.
Maybe
AOVs,
the top 50 are contributing to
yes.
80% or whatever.
नहीं एक तो वो है, and then even per order AOV, right, is very different. तो 300 रुपए वैसे 3000 रुपए में बहुत फर्क पड़ जाता है.
Correct.
तो it's not just orders, right? But the good thing is they were not ordering at all. So in our platform, we have seen every year the consumption on tier 2, 3, 4 only grow, right?
Correct.
पहले it was rapidly moving in 5-3 percentage points. Now it's moving in 0.5%, but it's moving. है ना? Only moving there.
Yeah, which is very powerful.
Which is very powerful. ठीक है? AOVs are slightly different sometimes. Surprisingly, some cities have very high AOVs also because उधर क्या हुआ है? जो merchants हम लेके आ गए हैं, they are only dealing the high AOV stuff. तो वो भी anomalies दिखती है कि सर rugs. तो there's all of this stuff in the platform, right? So I think consumption has changed very drastically. The D2C phenomena, by the way, has been like escaped nobody, right? I think pre-COVID ही शुरू हो गया था. I think COVID just kind of really pushed both sides of the equation on digital adoption on the consumer side first, but then the push to do something from home, right, or build something productive. I think that also has contributed somewhere, right? Is my feeling, because why are suddenly people building so many brands, right? I mean, consumption is one reason, but why did it not just flow to marketplaces? I think the personalization ability of brands, India generally still lacks supply. So if you want to buy shampoo, there's only 5 variants. You go to Amazon.com, there's 500 there.
करेक्ट.
ऑप्शन ही नहीं थी इंडिया में. अब इंडिया में 50 हैं. Correct, in the last 10 years, thanks to D2C brands. कि चलो I'm going to put, caffeine makes caffeine based early days, right? Mama Earth said I'm going to do oil, and then different people started kind of doing all kinds of things, right? Premium, ultra premium, luxury, eco. There's so many things you can do, right, in the category, and it doesn't. The fact that you can distribute directly and launch your business for like whatever very very low amounts to try, that spurred innovation, right, in many ways. And I think it's the enablement ecosystem that should get the credit for this, because I'm not about us, I'm saying everybody else, right? The actual courier guys, the payment gateways, the Shopifys of the world, to be able to put this together has actually pushed this market forward.
Absolutely.
In many ways. I think that will continue, because there is also a change in the consumption pattern. So we see now that a lot of people are stuck to social media, right? Mostly the meta platforms. And from there, the number of purchases happening is now starting to really take off, because I think the trust factor is also going up every year as India becomes sort of more, developed, self-reliant, as we kind of like our kids, and when, I don't know about you, but when I was young, right, the trust factor is different. Is different, right?
Now income is high, trust is high.
So another 10 years out, it'll further go up. And I think then people start to kind of shop more and more on other channels as well, right? The second thing we are finding is that consumers expect to be served omni-channel, which means that, if Jivraj walks into an offline shop or interacts with the brand on Instagram or goes to their website, I think consumers are expecting to have one experience, or at least a unified experience. So say, okay, I bought this here, but I'm returning it here, or, how your website looks. You'll notice that we have moved from function to form. Right, as a consumer, we care about how it looks now.
Correct.
Earlier, सस्ता है, चलता है.
Correct.
That is the thing to buy. Now नहीं यार अच्छा ही लग रहा. तो discretionary हमारा बढ़ गया है as a consumer. कि नहीं, I want to buy the aspirational thing. Correct. Right. So that is then spurring new sets of changes. Right. New categories getting born. Things like that. COVID has made all of us fear for our lives.
Correct.
So home, wellness, yoga, all of that stuff just became like from nothing to something. Like 5-10% business ka ho gaya suddenly, right, in a matter of a couple of years. So those changes, I think, so we'll reflect what's happening in the market. See, we are the rails of this, right? We don't get the demand, we don't do any of that stuff. We will reflect what is happening in the market, what are consumers buying, how was that demand being, fulfilled by what kind of supply, is it imported, is it made here, is it traded, blah blah blah, which cat. तो हम तो एक तरीके से mirror हैं market के, because we have the rails on which everything runs. And we can observe, right? We're a system of record. We don't actually push some of this in terms of trends.
Well, that's very cool. I think solid insights. In terms of the merchants that you're seeing, is there a representation to where Indian entrepreneurs are actually budding as well on an MSME level? Can you talk about geographical preferences? कहाँ पे ज़्यादा growth है? What is that like?
यार ये भी point in time answer है. So I think the metro, so Delhi NCR ends up actually being one of the largest hubs for the merchant side.
Startups also.
I'm talking about the
MSMEs.
हाँ MSMEs. D2C brands भी हैं actually, बहुत सारे actually यहाँ पे. But उसके beyond भी, I think the traders or a lot of the business is happening here, right? Maharashtra, Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Pune, ठीक है, Nagpur, Raipur. I know in the south there's obviously Bangalore, but then Coimbatore, ठीक है, Mysore. So pretty much the top 30-40 cities are contributing. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक city suddenly आ गई है map पे. महाराष्ट्र में कुछ है, we find sometimes कि अच्छा यार ये यहाँ से orders क्यों आ रहे हैं, पर फिर वो नहीं आ, तो we don't know yet. But हाँ, there's these signs, right, कि भाई signals आते हैं कि चीज़ें हो रही है, and नीचे ही हो रही हैं again, like I said, वो भी अच्छी बात है. That a lot of the new stuff कि अच्छा ये use case ही नहीं है पूरा, is coming from smaller towns in many cases, right? There's people doing customized gifting, for example, right? Is a category that maybe we were not serving, but was not really digitized. Now there's full workflows of saying ki acha, you can pick your logo. Like people have built that stuff and they come to us saying, give us the plumbing for the payments and the shipping, right? So there's a lot of religious tech coming up, right?
Yeah.
People selling.
I was just going to ask you.
Rudraksh. Yeah, so we work with people like AstroTalk to ship Prasad or others to ship Prasad and to do like this website sells Rudraksh. वो sourcing कहाँ से क्या certificate. Now this discovery ना you can't do on marketplace because उधर क्या है, it's very need based.
Correct.
I want to buy cheapest 5 देखे खरीदा.
और कुछ categories के लिए वो suited है.
Correct. But I'm saying when you see a video on Instagram You're like, okay, I'm going to explore this. Your mindset is that of exploring. It's not that of I want to get in, buy, and get out. Right? It's window shopping. Right? You're browsing. You're actually enjoying it, and that is and then there's a point in that in that process when your intent is high. It's like, okay, I'm going to buy it now. Right? And I think that way of shopping is very different. If you look at TikTok in the US, you look at Meta platform in the US, you look at Southeast Asia and conversational commerce, even in countries like Vietnam and Thailand, it's all very big.
Correct,
Right?
correct.
Even countries like Brazil is very big. So I think India will have that moment. China has WeChat.
Yeah.
For the same thing.
They have live commerce.
So I don't see every country has their sort of enablement commerce stack, and then you've got the marketplace commerce stack. Every country has it, right?
Right.
So I just don't for India, it's growing, right? I think it's a meaningful number today. Overall, right? For us, we see $100 billion market. If you look at SMB commerce, within that, obviously, you've got digital, you've got exporters, you've got offline. But from an e-commerce perspective alone, right? It's a double-digit percentage of the market and growing, right? It used to be nothing, like I said. So clearly, it's taking a bigger role, and it is the way the future is set up because people will become much more hyper-personalized for everything. AI is going to make it even worse. I mean, even better.
Correct.
In that sense, right? Even software will get personalized,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
because today you can you can build
Everything
workflows.
will be like recommended personally to me.
Well, or you could build it. You say, I don't need to buy off the shelf. I'm going to buy the builder of the software, and I'll put 5 prompts, and my work will be done. It'll be customized to what I want.
Right.
But if that's where the world's headed, why should our products be mass produced, right? They will also be customized, and the only way to do sort of hyper niche at scale is if there's many to many, right? Which means many people are picking their own interests, categories, problems that they found and building for that. And there's going to be a demand for that. I think, and that's the philosophy that we think India will head into as consumption grows.
That's amazing. I have one last question on this pool and then we'll go into some specifics on the company side. But if I had to ask you like top 3 unique brands, like I remember you talking about this like tail brand ones from a गाँव जहाँ पे सारे मतलब contribute करते हैं to for that like sort of oil. What would you have to say? Like very unique, like the brands that we may not hear of in the day to day.
Yeah, so Abhi, recently I met, I met the founder also at this brand called Namak Wali, right? And what Namak Wali is she's a, she's 50 plus lady out of Uttarakhand. Who had been working with the community. It's in a short way, it is Amul for spices. So they get the household, women who are harvesting, growing, whatever, for spices, right? Has a collection kind of process. They sanitize it, etc. And it's really good stuff, by the way. So I got it at Shivir. They've got Hing Namak and they've got a couple of products. It's from the source, right? It's organic, whatever.
So
it's not
fresh,
processed. There's no chemical. There's nothing, right? It's from how it's
And she's
done.
from Uttarakhand.
Yeah, she's she's from there and she's giving livelihood to these women. It's a great product. Uska acha tha packaging. It's a great look. Check out the website later, right? So I found it to be amazing. Like, this is true, like, truly the use of, what we are built for.
Correct. Your
right?
ideal user.
Correct.
You're empowering somebody like her to really build her business.
Yeah, and I think it's important because many of this kind of an art, she's not like she can't think like a VC funded. A lot of times people ask us that यार D2C में तो funding नहीं हो रही है, क्या होगा Shiprocket का? Like boss, तुम्हें D2C brands of 50, 100 and it's like suddenly grew. It's gonna take an organic scale, but the SMEs of India have and always will be.
Correct.
They are the backbone, right? 50% export MSME से आता है, 34% GDP MSME से आती है. तो मतलब what are we debating, right? Correct. It's the largest employer, self-employment in India. So when you think about this, right, it is a much sort of, it is not, D2C is a part of that. वो एक phenomena हुआ, हमने कर लिया. But अगर आप उसको खोल के देखोगे, there is 20 years worth of execution here, right? And you grow with the country. It is the job to embed. So this is a good example of saying, look, we gave you checkout, and she uses pretty much all of our stack, right?
Amazing.
So it was good to see her. She just won an award at Shivir, and that was very, very, very unique story, right?
Nice.
There's another one called Scientific, right? Scientific is SIGN TIFIC, right? So what it is it's crystals for healing, right? And this guy's from Calcutta actually.
Wow.
His grandfather started the business in the 30s or something.
Crystals for healing.
But he's doing well, right? Double-digit crores a year.
Oh wow.
I don't know the exact number, but I just did a quick.
Fair enough.
And he's a very passionate guy. He always makes sure he gets me something. I forgot his name, the founder's name, but again, family business, right? Grandfather से चल रहा था, etc. He took it digital, right? कि अच्छा इसको मैं I'm going to make a concept around it. You have to make a lot of awareness. Now this product you can't sell on a marketplace. How will you explain? How will you market? But here you use testimonials, you explain health benefits, etc. Start from Instagram or Facebook and then land up on your D2C. Works. Like I said, double-digit crores a year, profitable, right? These are all run like a extension of their family business, right? In many cases, that's actually a big trend also that I'm seeing. But Krishna Ayurveda basically used to be doing contract manufacturing for Ayurvedic products for a long time. Now they're launching their own brand. Amazing. You know, there's Nagpur se Dreams Hub, right? Chirag Doshi, the Doshis from Dreams Hub in Nagpur, they were doing drop shipping earlier, right? Do you understand drop shipping?
Yeah.
Facebook marketing and right? And वो करते करते as they figured out the craft, now they have launched and actually doing very well their own Ayurvedic very well packaged product called Ved Sanjeevani. It's a Nabi oil for health benefit. So
Insane.
I'm just telling you like
this is
the
like
breadth
great
of the
variety.
stories, right?
Yeah.
The breadth of the stories you will not hear on marketplace.
Exactly.
समझ रहे हो? Because वो ना बहुत regimented process है. It's very clinical to buy there.
Typical categories हैं. Typical
This
categories
reflects
में कुछ
actual
companies
marketplace
हैं.
जो
Correct.
actually trade हो रहा है. Consumers जो expect कर रहे हैं, खरीद रहे हैं, बेच रहे हैं. This is the reflection of that. We're not coming up with the ideas, right?
Correct.
We don't
very
have category
merit-based is
we
what
don't
I
have
love.
category managers saying ja ye soch ke. We're saying people are the category managers. They're doing their work. We are just the infrastructure.
Correct.
So we are the mall provider जो shop देता है, security देता है, internet देता है, footfall देता है. लेकिन आपका ब्रांड है, आपकी स्टोरी है, आपको मेहनत करनी है, आपका गल्ला है, आपको चलाना है.
Correct.
हम नहीं चला के दे रहे हैं, right?
You are giving the tools.
We are
to
the
empower.
infra, yeah, we're the
Correct.
digital infra.
I love that because it's very meritocratic. Like platforms पे ये भी होता है कि Pareto plays out in a very major
Correct.
way.
हमारा नहीं है.
Platform के लिए incentivization is to push top selling brands.
Yeah, उसके
But if
हिसाब-
somebody is independent
Yeah.
or if they are meritocratic, आप करो अपने
See,
website.
we are a service provider. We have to get paid by the merchant.
Correct.
मेरे इंसेंटिव में merchant बड़ा हो जाए, उसका धंधा चल जाए, उसके इंसेंटिव में है, तो मतलब इसमें अलाइनमेंट का कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है.
Correct,
और मेरे लिए परेटो का कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. Because I'm selling
Yeah.
to the business, right?
You are selling equally to all. Now it's
It's
up
a
to them
service,
how
yeah.
they sort of leverage it. Which I
Correct.
love. I think that incentivization and correlation is very strong.
And you know, while I think we've talked about democratizing commerce for a long time, right? 10 years we've been saying that. Way before anybody else, you know, investors ask होता क्या है ये? What does this even mean in the early days? But the thing is that it's not something we say because it's like makes us sound, you know, like
Buzzwordy.
हाँ buzzwordy and कि हम बड़ा कोई वो कर रहे हैं कुछ ऐसा. It is actually the need, right?
Yeah.
And you know, all the founders in the company come from small SME backgrounds, so we know कि this is important. तो कहीं ना कहीं वो I think we don't need to be explained. We know that, right, from our own experience, because we saw that SMEs, we saw the top line bottom line thing when we were growing up.
Yeah.
कि इनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. You can sell any software to them, they will not pay.
धंधा बढ़ाना है.
So knowing that is important, right? In your bones कि यार ये होने वाला नहीं है otherwise.
Yeah. No, I also like the fact, I think in one of your past interviews you mentioned that आपको सिर्फ business नहीं बनाना था, you wanted to do something that also makes a difference.
Correct.
And I think this genuinely stands for it. And I think the best form of service is to actually empower others who are anyway doing business. So I
Our
love that.
goal is to create 1 million profitable businesses,
That's amazing.
right? Today we have short of 2 lakh, 170, 180,000, right? And they're all profitable, like I said. Our businesses are not the...
Yeah.
They are lifestyle businesses,
Correct.
right? Which is how people earn their livelihoods, right?
ऐसा कुछ है कि like less than 5%, less than 10% are VC backed?
Easily.
है ना?
मतलब
You're
और
saying
छोटा
2
होएगा.
lakh मतलब हाँ,
और
20,000 तो
छोटा
नहीं.
है.
हाँ.
See, उसमें क्या है ना, लेकिन आप obviously size scale में फर्क पड़ जाएगा.
Correct.
But I'm saying if you took the volume, let's say कि how much of your volume is VC backed, वो भी मेरे हिसाब से 20% से कम होगी. Get it? Margins और कम होंगे. It's opposite.
Yeah, fair enough. The last bit here is on the quick commerce piece, right? Like, so आप बोल रहे हो कि 40 billion is broadly e-commerce GMV across like sort of
ज़्यादा है.
नहीं, 90 billion है, sorry, मतलब
पता है.
Flipkart is 40.
यार, so e-commerce GMV पे again मार्केट की बात कर लेते हैं. मेरे हिसाब से पूछोगे तो 80-90 बिलियन, मतलब 70 to 100 बिलियन के बीच में. चलो
ठीक है.
Depends on how you cut it also.
I was just extrapolating quick commerce वाला. तो quick commerce will now create 10-20 billion in new GMV. अभी platform control लग रहा है. How does that get democratized?
Same thing, yes.
Tell me how.
We do the same thing. So basically, look, for us, very simple.
You
For our
constrict
brands-
delivery time.
No, I'm saying the way we got 4-day delivery to 1-day delivery or 2-day delivery, we are already doing the same thing to bring it to a couple of hours and same day, right? So we are going heavy on enabling brands to do same day, next day in a big way. We have launched a hyperlocal service for 30-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, depending on distance, called Shiprocket Quick, right? Both sides we are making good progress, and it is for example, brands like Licious, right, or Sadar Meat Shop or Vijeta in Hyderabad. So there's these guys who are saying, look, I don't want to get disintimidated by the quick commerce marketplaces.
Correct.
Right? So I need to give my customers, it's the same story. We saw this 5 years ago with the other 2-day phenomena. We're seeing it again with the 4-hour phenomena. Let me put it
Plays
this way.
out that way.
Yeah, तो हम enable कर देंगे, right? We'll do the infrastructure, we'll get the dark store network, we are putting the fleets as we speak, and like we'll keep doing this, right?
Correct.
And that's why I think for the way our business is designed, right, we will always be current because we don't actually have to build the actual service. The manufacturing of the service
वो logistics
will be
provider-
done by the market for the market. My job is to bring the right guys there, all the guys there, hook them onto my templated API, my quality standards, my data in and out, my pricing, commercials, stitch it up into a service, build the interface, connect it into where it needs to be connected, and then go back to my merchants, right? So if new trend comes in, suppose live commerce becomes big and that needs something, okay, let's orchestrate. So as orchestrators, it's a very exciting business because
Correct.
you
don't
can
have
never
to
get
build
bored.
you have to build the infrastructure.
Yeah.
बाकी सारी चीजें लोग build कर
और
ही
वो
रहे
भी
हैं.
digital infra है, right?
हाँ,
तो क्या होता है digital infra gets the more you build, the easier it becomes.
Correct. Network effects.
हाँ, because आपके components बनते चले जाते हैं, it becomes easier and easier to wire on more and more, right? तो उधर एक natural efficiency curve आ जाता है to bring more supply, right? I mean, the first 10 suppliers were 10x harder than the next 10. I mean, that's the way it kind of happens, right?
Flywheel kicks in.
Flywheel kicks in, suppliers become more amenable. Ke हाँ यार, you are getting, that guy's getting business from you. I'll also come.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing we saw play out in our capital business as we got lenders, in our payments, like whatever, checkout business as we got. So I think it's a playbook.
So are you seeing your vendors, so as an aggregation platform, are your logistics providers already doing like a lot of quick deliveries? Nice.
So actually, unlike the playbook for courier, both in cross-border and in hyperlocal and quick, it is a little different. Because here we found that the problem was not being solved. So here's how we operate, right? We go in thinking this is a problem for a merchant. How can I solve it the best, right? And then we look at, okay, are there ecosystem solutions available? Are they willing to work with us? Will that solve their problem? Okay, 6 on 10, 7 on 10 to begin with. Good enough. Let's start. Then we push it to 8 on 10, 9 on 10. Sometimes we find that there is no solution available, right? Two choices, either you leave it or you solve it.
You build it yourself.
We always build it, right? And sometimes it looks like, but you said your platform. Like, yeah, but I'm saying, look, if this is not going to get solved. Like, for example, when we built the warehousing network, for us, it was a big step to say, okay, are we going to now work? Like, are we going to see the packets now? Because up until then, it was purely just through APIs and digital technology,
Correct.
AI, right? We were using
You weren't
data
touching
science.
the packets,
Yeah.
but you were enabling it.
But we realized, okay, someone's going to do it. Like, someone needs to do it because this whole elastic warehousing, community warehousing, but didn't exist for merchants. We were the first company to do it, actually, to say, one of the first companies to say, look, you can come in with only $100 a month and you get like marketplace style.
Almost like fulfilled services.
Yes, it is called Shiprocket fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
We keep your goods, we import your order from marketplace or Shopify, wherever you get the order. We pack it, dispatch it, track it. If it return aa jata hai, we open it up, QC it, put it back on the shelf, manage the inventory. It's a big service, right?
Amazing.
So I think usi tarike se we'll keep on kind of keep on at it. And quick commerce is a great convenience, right? I think it's consumers के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, right? In many ways. Like I said, it'll become a habit. Brands will want to do it. Brands are already waking up, giving us calls saying, तो हमको मार्केट से मालूम चल जाता है कि this is what is needed. Our merchants build our stack, by the way. हम नहीं बनाते हैं. I'm not saying it like some ज्ञान statement.
बहुत
We
feedback
keep meeting
मिलती है.
them. हाँ, बहुत मिलते हैं हम लोग. क्या problem है? And they tell us ना. See, they are not technologists, but they know their business. We don't know their business.
फीचर रिक्वेस्ट तो आती रहती है.
फीचर रिक्वेस्ट एंड वो पता क्या होता है, वी कीप मीटिंग, आवर टीम्स कीप मीटिंग देम. बहुत हम लोग सेलर्स के साथ, मतलब वी आर वेरी टाइट, लाइक अ कम्युनिटी लिटिल बिट, राइट? एंड उधर से कहीं ना कहीं से आता रहता है यार, ये चलो, ये दिस कंपनी इन द यूएस इज लॉन्च, आई विश ये आप बना. तो उस तरीके से अ लॉट ऑफ द इनसाइट कम्स फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड. इट्स नॉट अस. आई विल नॉट टेक द क्रेडिट फॉर दैट बिकॉज दे टेल अस कि तू ये कर लेता, तेरा धंधा मिलता साहिल, right? And that's how we go back to the whiteboard and say, बनाओ इसको यार, people are asking for it.
Solid. I think this is very, very helpful. I think this is great understanding of the business, the macros, and how you think of like different parts of it. On the AI front, right? I remember like when we were traveling and I asked you कि कैसे use कर रहे हो, and I was really like glad that you had very specific insights to कि वो testing कर रहे हैं, हम हर चीज़ में solve कर रहे हैं. अभी before coming in, you told me that on your phone you're tinkering, everybody is building. Talk to us about like, I think what's very interesting in your case is also across a span of time, technological shifts, trend-based shifts सारे हुए हैं. On this technological shift, how do you adapt? Like, what is your role again to percolate amongst the team? How do you use it? What are you doing on the customer side as well as internally?
Topic very close to my heart, very current, and I think it's something that everybody should hear and learn, because honestly, I keep telling people that this is an internet moment, internet and mobile moment together. Pre 2000s, मैं अपनी टीम को जब साल भर पहले as this whole कीड़ा बोल देते हैं started to manifest in my head. I saw the first GPT-3 launch 19 months ago, and तब से I think it was clear to me that this is new, right? ये सोच पा रहा है अब, ये नहीं था पहले. You had to train models and you were in control of the models. Neural networks थे, but still you kind of knew the outcomes within a range. Now you had a machine that you can't predict the outcome. The builder can't predict the outcome anymore. Okay, मुझे नहीं पता. It has its own thinking, and that to me was a big breakthrough. कि यार this can, and it understands natural language.
Yeah.
Basically तो यही दो चीजें हैं, right? And that can change a lot.
Yeah.
In a country like India, where I struggle with awareness, I struggle with how do I explain to this person.
100%.
Businesses struggle with communicating to their consumers. B2B companies struggle with communicating to their customers. So ये communication itself as a country is broken in India. It's not digitized. It's unstructured. It's hundreds of languages,
Very fragmented.
dialects, tones, cultural aspects. तो अगर आप वहाँ से जाओगे ना, you will understand कि बॉस ये पूरी communication highway को पूरा मतलब it can make it structured digitally and smartly.
Yeah.
So actually India can really benefit if you ask me. So anyway, so that was the kind of thing. And pre 2000s जो अगर आप US market देखोगे, look at the top companies there, they were all your oil की थी कुछ तो, Walmart, retail, right? Tech, कौन सा tech? Oracle, Salesforce, right? Not Google, Facebook.
Right.
Fast forward to 2020, it's all filled with internet, mobile, है ना? Most
Amazon,
of it.
Microsoft, Apple.
Then come 2024 or 5, you have Nvidia as the first AI company showing up. Chalo, which is a listed company. You've got OpenAI. I've got now a bunch of them coming, right?
Correct.
The point I'm making is it is a once in a generation opportunity, because it can change how everything is done, like internet and mobile. So it's not ki acha AI kar lo. What do you mean by that? It's like it's a way to do things. It's not the thing itself, right? It's a new toolkit sort of available, and the reason it's challenging is because it's every hour it's changing. It's happening so fast that it's like kind of it's a dizzy
speed.
It's overwhelming कि okay
क्या हो रहा है?
standard क्या है, what will stay, today you do this, tomorrow you could die, you build a feature, ChatGPT launches something, it's finished, right? So how do you compete, or what do you do in that world? So what we told ourselves is कि सबसे पहले तो ना let us learn what the hell this is, right?
Sure.
And we said we're going to learn AI for Shiprocket, starting with me, because if I don't learn, there is no way I can expect my team to learn. Absolutely. And if it truly is such a big thing, let me check it out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Yeah. And maybe I'm just being told it is, right?
Right.
So वो ज़रूरी था discern करना, जिससे पहले कि हम पूरा we start to kind of put effort behind it. And we broke up the strategy into saying, look, we'll do AI for Shiprocket first, which is our team members, our processes, blah, blah, blah. Then we'll do AI for Shiprocket customers, which is launching products for customers. And finally, we want to do AI for India, because we think this opportunity is big enough. We are a massive distribution company. We have massive data. And in AI, the winners, my prediction, either you are owner of massive data or massive distribution. Absolutely. Or ideally both.
Correct.
Because it's not the massive tech. Because that is important. Yeah. But I don't think that will win. Right?
That's democratized.
वो commodity हो जाएगा.
Correct.
ठीक है ना? वो every time, right?
सब build कर पाएंगे.
हाँ. SpaceX ने world को दिखा दिया कि space tech कुछ होता है. EV real कर दिया.
Correct.
Right? Tesla ने कि ऐसे बनाते हैं. तो वो IP तो खुल जाता, देखो, to be honest with you, in the end. And they should be given prizes to open their IP for the world. वो problem नहीं कह रहा मैं. But business जो बनेगा ना end में, वो distribution पे बनेगा.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think when I think about those two things, I think the whole AI for India thing is something we should, and we are, and I'll talk about it as well. So we started with this 3-pronged thinking a year ago, and then started focusing on AI for Shiprocket very heavily first. All the way from first building a team, right? So we've got a mini team, we call it Shiprocket AI Labs, right? It's a team of 15-20 people, which are dedicated to the AI initiative. Everything from figuring out what is out there to figuring out what needs to be fixed, right? Where are the parts of the company which can be, which can 10x in velocity or 10x in customer experience or 10x in delivery in terms of times or something like that, right? And we keep going. Like there's a charter to keep going after different functions of different modules of different functions, and then start to implement this as at a central level. So there's discovery of problem, discovery of potential solution, then a different team is doing the implementation. And this is going on, like this is happening today. For the last 3 months, we've gone department by department. Our engineering team is getting completely revamped in terms of processes, in terms of how do they deploy, how do they code, which tools, the whole thing has gotten ripped and replaced, right? In the last 3-4 months. So
can you double click on the team itself? Like, are these new hires? Are these existing hires? Is this like a developer archetype? How have you gone about curating that?
Oh, you mean
AI
the
Labs
central
team?
See, the AI Labs team is like a model flat. I keep explaining to my team as well कि देखो आपको सबको ही यहाँ करना है.
Correct.
ये कोई टीम रहेगी नहीं. This is a temporary team for 1 year because I can't do it with the whole workforce. It will get diluted. So I need certain
छोटे
people.
experiment और फिर उसको.
Like I said, these are role models or model flat. कि यार ये जो कर रहे हैं तुम सबको करना है. So it's a mixture of product people, mixture of engineers, DS and ML guys, right?
And existing talent.
Existing, all existing. No, nobody new. There is no talent.
Correct.
वो सिलिकॉन वैली में है, आप इंडियन सिलिकॉन वैली चला रहे हो, तो वो वहाँ से नहीं ला सकते हम बनाएंगे अपना सर, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Existing talent, right? And they are like, these are the guys who.
And their learning curve is strong.
So the way we picked them was people who were organically already vibe coding, something, we kind of picked up signals.
Amazing.
And mentally we kept on recruiting. So I got one, Prabhat, who leads product but also runs data science for many years. So he's been sort of, actually he was literally our first employee, right?
Wow.
Literally like second week into office or whatever, and he's been, there. And he heads data science for us. So he had been kind of doing this for a long time on the side, with me, ki acha explore karte, etc. And he then became the recruiting pipeline to say, okay, you know what, we should get this guy. So us tarike se, we screened for the people who are enthusiastic. Because see, I cannot make you fall in love with it. I can put a platform to give you the way to do it. And the early evangelists have to be the people who are losing sleep over it. Right? Chul. Right? So, kida, chul, whatever word is more understandable.
Yeah.
Right? That is what we look for. Curiosity. Right? That's what we looked for. And in different functions. So we got them together. I actually think that jobs will also start shifting a lot, because like today we are experimenting with business users vibe coding the prototype first rather than giving a BRD. Because the BRD goes through iteration, Chinese whispers, loses quality, then goes to PRD, again iteration, loses quality. By the time it gets built, the business guy मेरे को मांगा नहीं था ये, आपने UAT नहीं करा. It's a very long loop. तुम बोले यार तू बना के दिखा दे, तेरे को क्या चाहिए, कर ले 5 prompt तो लिखने हैं. Then you give it to the product guy, वो उससे FSD लिख रहा है या PRD लिख रहा है. By that time it goes to the engineering team, वो already मतलब it's in good shape, right? He knows what to do. So hopefully the communication gap goes. So we are experimenting, right? How roles evolve, and so on. So this is all for within
internal.
Yeah, internal. Last thing I will say is AI literacy. This is the easiest one, right? Which I think for listeners, सबसे आसान ही है, right? Which is basically task your course बना लो of 10 things. Basics things like using things like Relay, Make.com or NA10, which are agent builders.
Okay.
Very, very easy, very productive. Anybody can use it. Email automation, basic stuff like that. काफी unlock आता है उससे, because again personalized software, right? This is my reason for saying that. Obviously all the LLMs जहाँ जिसको जो चाहिए, और ChatGPT is fine. Coding के लिए again I think the engineers are smart. I will not tell people, but obviously Cursor or whatever is the stack, right? And then overall training of we also do this thing of how by AI. Again, which is used to be a hashtag that was trending at some point. And it is about showing people that, look, I use this and I did this, right? So we start this in the company where people are posting now on our common Slack, where people are saying, oh, you know what, I built this leaderboard for my mini contest that I'm doing with my sales team. Great. Earlier, you know what they would do? They would not do it because they couldn't. कि अच्छा कंपनी ना leaderboard software लाएगी, पर उसको तो ये चाहिए, छोड़ो यार. Now like कि भाई कंपनी कब लाएगी यार, मैं तो बनाऊं.
Correct. जल्दी बन सकता है.
हाँ, जब ठीक 1 घंटे में बन गया.
Correct.
चल रहा है एकदम numbers. I'm just saying all of that becomes quite amazing, right? It becomes decentralized in many ways. Good people can really kill it. Really, really thrive. So I think AI literacy itself, right, to do forced workshops, etc. I think it is very needed today, because AI में क्या है, if you teach somebody how to fish ना, ये वो वाली चीज़ है कि देखो once you know what's possible,
Correct.
बाकी nobody can tell you how to do your job with AI well, by the way.
Correct.
Only you can tell yourself. But people, we can expose people to say, look, this is possible, right?
Once you taste the magic and the
ये मैं बोल रहा हूँ.
opportunity मतलब समझ में आ जाती है, it's crazy.
And I really feel that, you know, everybody I meet, by the way, I try and somehow convince them कि boss, you should do it because this is the future, right?
और 10-15 मिनट में
it doesn't take long.
Something on lovable, you know it's
Yeah, you know
insane
what
and
is possible.
Correct.
You know what's possible.
Yeah.
So that's a huge part.
Yeah.
And then obviously for our merchants, we continuously build products. You know, we are building voice. I think is a big one for India. I think it will be in the coming years, and we are a voice first country. I think AI voice is extremely important. Of course, AI brain is more important, but the voice is the way the communication can, like I said, unstructured को structured बना सकता है, जो इंडिया के लिए massive बड़ी बात है. PNR status, you know, think of a farmer calling a number to say आलू का आज़ादपुर मंडी में कल भाव क्या था, ये नहीं पॉसिबल है आज, राइट? इन्फॉर्मेशन सेल होती है, आपको पता है, राइट? देयर आर लाइक पीपल हु
गेट करते हैं
लेट आती
इन्फॉर्मेशन
है,
को फिर
चलो
बताते हैं.
लेट आती है इन्फॉर्मेशन, राइट? इट्स इजी मैन, कैन बी सेल्फ सर्व. आज नहीं कर सकते, कॉस्ट बहुत है, राइट? बट विद एआई यू कैन डू इट ना. सो आई थिंक देयर इज ऑल दैट स्टफ हैपनिंग ऑन द मैक्रो. From a Shiprocket perspective, I think the data that we have, the insights that we have launched our co-pilot, right, in its early beta over the last few months. We are making it voice enabled. We are pulling a lot more of the data there. So imagine the co-pilot in the coming year, few quarters, as a place where you could have your Tally data, your Gmail data, your calendar data, your Razorpay data, Google Analytics data, Shopify, Shiprocket, and let's say Amazon Blinkit in one place. And Shiprocket's benchmark data for the platform. Now, and you could talk to it in any language as a vision, right?
Correct.
Suppose you had this as a merchant, you could talk to it all day long, saying कि मैं क्या करूँ, marketing में क्या करूँ, मेरे कहाँ पे gaps आ रहे हैं, conversion rate क्यों कम आ रहा है,
Demand
benchmarks क्या हैं,
prediction.
मैं next क्या बेचूँ, लाऊँ कहाँ से, demand, तो there's so much you can do, right? And ये इससे unlock होता है. Now the data is already there.
But ability to talk to each other, etc. has gone up significantly.
Intelligence बहुत high हो गई उसकी. Right?
Correct.
Absolutely, people. So we are trying to build things like that. Obviously, then we are building, in our core shipping automation itself. Whether, for example, when deliveries fail at the last mile, right, we are doing automated calling through AI now, right, to the consumer.
Correct.
Right, and that is a smarter call than a human. It's sad to say, but now humans are more robots than
Correct.
than the robots.
This is more efficient, better cost, and
It's more knowledgeable. So, for example, if you do a failed delivery call and you ask one of my call center agents कि यार ये product मैं क्यों लूँ, वो नहीं बता पाएगा. It's not his KRA. His KRA is to talk about delivery, right? He comes not to sell you the product.
Correct.
AI will.
Correct.
It can look up the description.
Knowledge.
It can just look up the description. If it's in its SOP, it will do it, right?
Absolutely.
And quality goes up because you have to only do it once, so you don't have to, there's no aberration, right?
Correct.
In the quality. So those are some very very obvious kind of builds that have to go out there, right? Abandoned cart पे आप calling कर सकते हो, right?
Yeah.
Inquiries को field कर सकते हो, customer care पे AI calling कर सकते हो.
Correct.
Or you can put a chatbot and so on. So
Care and support though, I think obvious
one.
also.
So we are slowly building some of these things out.
Does that work with merchants also, or is a merchant still expecting कि क्योंकि मैं Shiprocket को pay कर रहा हूँ, I want a human on the other side?
Not at all.
Not at all.
नहीं.
That adoption is high.
Yeah, but these products are not there. But I'm saying as they start rolling out, my gut is कि वो people will take it. They are, like I said, man, our entrepreneurs, they tell us, right? They give us the ideas. Many of the ideas have come from the seller community. कि my other partner used to do this, they did this, it worked out. आप क्यों नहीं करते हो? Right? And that's how we come to know कि अच्छा यार ये तो करा जा सकता है. Things like that. So I think my gut is that people are already asking for it, right?
Correct.
Similarly, when we are doing our marketing stack, right, a lot of the video creatives are being now done by AI, right?
Yeah.
We did a full ad actually recently for a brand called Nuki. At Shiver we showed it as well in the launch.
I think I saw a video.
Yeah, and then there is the opportunity of doing hyper personalization for consumers as well, right? So think about it. One of the things we'll end up launching at some point is if Jivraj landed on a page selling this bottle or Sahil landed, what if the pages were entirely different and generated on the fly, right? कि जिवराज, मुझे ओवर टाइम पता लग जाता है जिवराज को ना बाय बटन पहले दो, लेकिन साहिल बहुत पढ़ता है. For example, today this is not possible to do this level.
Personalization at that scale will be possible. You're saying where you can personalize even like optimize pages for
or
user
discovery
graph.
or discovery. We did
discovery.
a demo of something called personal shopper on Shipware, and basically you could have a 24/7 salesman sitting on your Shopify website or your Insta WhatsApp bot who could give a discount basis rules, who could gamify a little bit, who could answer queries, who could sell the product to you, and so on. And we showed the demo as well. So I think there's lots of use cases of commerce, right? Abhi labs mein hai sab kuch, right? Because we don't know what happens, right? But some of this is like we can see early signs ki ye chalega. So that is the whole AI for Shiprocket customers prong. And then the third prong is AI for India. On that, we have recently launched a partnership with UltraSafe, which is a US-based sovereign and modular LLM generation company, right? So they work with enterprises to build custom SLMs, SEMs, and LLMs for them. And it's agentic, so it's able to do workflow management and is multimodal. So it can do file, image, voice, text, whatever. So we recently did a partnership with them as a JV, launched Shunya in India, Shunya.ai, which is India's own sovereign model. It's hosted here. It's trained on Indian data largely. And more than that, it's got the ability to solve point use cases because of the underlying technology architecture. So I think for SMEs, we'll end up launching a bunch of agents in the coming quarters and months, where it'll be everything from GST filing to check my outstanding balance for customer ABCD. So things like that, right, will just come natively into it. And for enterprises, we can do things like knowledge management. So we'll be very scared to give our G Drive and email to anything outside of my environment, right? And in those cases, I think enterprise can win because we can literally host it in your data center. It's fully encrypted. It's private. It's not open source, right? It can be customized to your need, and it will cost a lot less because when you build a layer on top of the existing LLMs, whether paid or open source, you are in fact firing up a larger machine and then picking off something. So it's not only inaccurate, it's more expensive, doesn't scale as well. But if you do a custom built engine, so to speak, right? ये engine को tune कर दिया, ये the engine इसके लिए बना, it's like that, right? That is the ability that comes about. So again, it's very, very early for a lot of things AI, but I think it's a very important, it's already mainstream. I don't even think we should argue that AI is coming. Yeah, it's here, man. It's there. आ गया है अभी तो it's high time that we just
adopt it.
We need to adopt it like ASAP now.
No, this is amazing. I remember like when we were discussing about it in New York as well, you had some great thoughts, and this is a great blueprint because I think I don't know if enough CEOs in India are talking about this yet.
I think so. A lot of people are I had met. So I remember I met you in April in the US. I had gone in March. So one of my investors is March Capital. They run this event every year. There, I was meeting a lot of the US CEOs, and people were discussing plans on saying, have you guys figured out, how you build your central team and who are you hiring in that, and kind of questions you're asking me today, right? And I was like, shit, I haven't even thought of any of this, right? I'm way behind. I'm still learning the tools. So this is like, so I think that was like a big, I think it's a big FOMO moment more than light bulb. कि यार पीछे रह गए शायद. So that exposure was good though, because I realized that in the valley people obviously get exposed to this a lot more because this is all coming from there.
And it's very tactical also कि वो बोल रहे कि इतना quantum of production
that's what I'm saying. It's no longer esoteric.
That Shopify Toby's big memo as well.
So a lot of those things actually help to say okay ये अकेले नहीं सोचा मैं.
भाई exactly. भाई इंडिया में वही मुझे लग रहा है कि as many CEOs are not talking about, but this is great.
करें as I'm ठीक है, maybe publicly
नहीं बात करें, but internally तो apply हो रहा है. I think you were a great example of that.
कर रहे हैं, काफी लोग कर रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं है, right?
Fair enough.
A lot of people I'm speaking to कहीं ना कहीं. That's why I told you. See, Indians that way we are hustlers, right? हम natural ROI magnets हैं, right? उसका मतलब ये हमें दिखता है कहीं से हो सकता है.
Opportunity तो नहीं छोड़ेंगे.
Chat GPT के highest number of users इंडिया से.
Correct.
ठीक है. Of course, I don't think paid, but I think
I was not stereotyping, but मैं बोल रहा था कि मतलब
नहीं,
publicly और बोलना जरूरी है.
I agree with you.
If a young founder is
actually,
now listening, right?
As you were speaking, I was thinking back. Did I ever put something out? Actually, I have not put anything out there.
Correct.
I mean, we are launching stuff, but मैंने खुद नहीं बोला है. So you're saying it is important to
publicly maybe.
Knowledge.
I think that percolates the ecosystem. Are you also like, is there a broad sense कि मतलब for every incremental dollar of revenue, I have to hire less? ऐसा कुछ दिख रहा है?
ऐसे तो मैट्रिक्स ही मेरा गोल टीम को ना एक्चुअली कॉस्ट है नहीं.
ओके.
जो टीम इम्प्लीमेंट कर रही है
एफिशिएंसी.
ठीक है. कुछ हद तक कुछ processes ही redundant हो जाएंगे इसके बाद, वहाँ पे कोई choice नहीं है आपकी. But what I'm saying is, we call it the Iron Man philosophy or Iron Woman philosophy, to say, look, give them the tools to become Iron Men and women so that they can perform 10x, right? Because see, we are not as a business right now trying to maximize our profit. We're trying to maximize our growth, right? So if our team members suddenly get triple the
10x
bandwidth, let's say,
Correct.
10x is, let's say, 50% more bandwidth, right? They can do a lot more. They can build a lot more. They can launch a lot more, test a lot more. I am excited about that, to say, okay, every engineer, every person in HR, finance, marketing, okay, I'll give you an example, right? For our marketing team, our head of marketing, Kautalya, has built something very simple, and people can try this, built a custom GPT. Which is nothing bad, but you open chat GPT, you make a new custom GPT, and he's trained it with a couple of years worth of LinkedIn posts, Facebook posts, emails. So basically all our copy, ads, जो भी हम बनाते हैं, the Shiprocket way, right? Which means the tone, how we speak. And he's built it in a way where now we don't need people to write copy. And if I'm building a Google ad, or if I'm putting a LinkedIn post, or somebody else in the leadership team is doing something, or the marketing team, the CLM team is writing email drips, they don't need to use, they have to go to the bot and say, I want to make a Google ad for launching Shiprocket quick with a discount of 5%, for example.
Yeah.
The tone, so you can't go wrong. Like you pick it
All
up
assets
and
are
you
there,
copy
colors
paste.
are there, जो पहले Google Drive पे जाना पड़ता होगा.
You copy. नहीं, पहले there was a team, and then उसमें back and forth था कि QC करो, ये ठीक नहीं है, वापस जाओ, खत्म हो गया वो. तो ना, it's like some of this is very
low hanging.
हाँ, very easy to implement also, right? Our HR team is using something called, I think, Skill Sync or something, piloting, to do an AI interview. I took mine the other day. It's pretty good. I kind of got into it.
Yeah.
I was pitching to the machine.
Yeah, there are a couple of Indian companies also doing this. I think ये तो है.
So I think ये कुछ बहुत easy है करना. इसमें intent चाहिए and थोड़ा सा knowledge चाहिए. So I think every leader today needs to be spending the time. Is my request to the community out there, because it will help you. It will pay off in many ways than we can all imagine today.
Awesome. I think this is incredible. Again, very tactical. I love it. I want to now get to longevity. Just that, you spent so many years building and you had this fire, and now IPO feels like a seminal moment that everybody celebrates and that you're approaching. Talk to us about that mindset, right? Like, what does it mean to build a company across like a decade and more? What keeps you going still? And in your business, of course, thankfully there have been waves and, tailwinds. So I'm guessing it keeps you on your toes, but just internal motivation, softer aspects of entrepreneurship that maybe you've not spoken before or want to share would be really interesting. Because if a young founder is watching and saying like, you started 2012, inflection was 2016, and now new waves, IPO will come up. What keeps you going?
See, I think it begins with why you start, right? I think that's the most important aspect that will determine where you'll go. And it can change with time too, right? But I'm saying, what are you in it for? Right? And for us, like when Gautam and I started in 2012, we didn't know we were a startup. We said, actually our initial goal was कि business खोलते हैं, because we wanted to start a business.
Okay.
It didn't matter what. And this was the one
unicorn was not an aspiration. Then yes, I tech.
हमको पता नहीं था VC क्या होता है. I'm serious.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we knew कि कुछ होता है, but in the sense that it was not our goal. We said we're going to build this product and we're going to make some money, take it home, and we're going to be our own owners, right? We don't want to work for somebody else. That's how it started. A year later, we were like, oh shit, we need the help, because, that's the we'll be irrelevant. We went to events and we started noticing that there's a ecosystem. So I think, but because we started like that, we had very scarce capital. We came from that sort of dhanda mindset. I think we never, like, people used to, आपका exit क्या है? Like कि कोई नहीं exit, आपका होगा, मतलब, it's my company, why will I ever exit? Right? And I think, पता है mindset की बात है. I really don't think that, and if you put a goal and think in decades and not in years, then it's longevity. But I'm not saying it's right or wrong. People, serial entrepreneurs, build, scale, exit, do it again 2 times, 4 times, 8 times. Hats off, right? That's kudos to them. But it's not our DNA. It's not it's not how we have done it. And but we've done it inside the company. We've continued to kind of stay excited, as I said, and it's very exciting because in this platform approach, like I said, there's always something to do. There's never going to be nothing to do, right? There's always going to be a new segment of SME, a new problem to solve, right? A new issue or a new opportunity. There's always going to be something to do. And when we started realizing that, a few years ago, we started realizing that this is a business that needs to be immortalized, right? This is not something that can run privately and so on forever, because it's an embed business, it's an infra business, because it's a utility, right, for everyone. But you have to take a 10-year view for that. The only way you keep a 10-year view and everyone aligned is to be public. And that's why I told people that ultimately the right home for this company is to be public, because it's not a part of something. It is the something, right?
Yeah.
Where other people will build on top.
Yeah.
That is the vision.
Yeah.
And is to do it with SMEs. We're very clear about that. So I think we were clear about MSME, we were clear about building long term, and that's what kept us going. We just didn't die. And I'm telling people, a lot of people ask me, क्या right हुआ? I think बस जब होता है ना throw in the towel का time आ गया, हमने throw in नहीं किया. That's it.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
You just say कि one more year खींचते हैं यार, दोबारा करते हैं.
क्योंकि पहले 5 साल बहुत टफ थे.
सबके होते हैं यार, सबके होते हैं. I think again ऐसा कोई चेंज नहीं करूँगा, लेकिन I think वो बहुत foundational time रहा हमारे लिए. A lot of our value system came from there, and we learned the lessons early. है ना? So when we raise money or we kind of started thinking big, we still had a very grounded in our heads कि नहीं, we know what it means to not have money, right? And the other thing is personal motivation, right? What do you have to look back to if you don't do this will define whether you will make it or not. Because if you have nothing to look forward to outside of this, if this is your only option, which was the case for us, right? Then you don't have an option.
Just keep at it.
Option नहीं है ना. You will have to make it. अब करोगे क्या? I know it sounds very like philosophical, but I'm telling you, when you gun to head कि करना ही पड़ेगा, don't have an option, you will find a way. Maybe your business will be 3 degrees different like ours, but you'll find a way.
Yeah.
You'll find a way. I think it does come from that. It's this understated fact है ये. A lot of people don't appreciate this कि अच्छा founder के पास what is the fallback? How badly do you want it? That's what I tell you. How badly do you want it? Because if you really want it and you can sustain it and you're patient, so I see no reason why it can't happen.
That's amazing. I love that. But it's very commendable how you've gone about it, and the humility is also incredible, and the drive. And I've noticed that across the board in the brief interactions we've had otherwise as well. So kudos to the company being built.
Thank you.
On the IPO more specifically, Sahil, because we don't get to hear from people who will IPO in the near term, right? Are there any thoughts like for young founders, how should they look at because it feels like this final celebration moment or in the middle celebration moment that makes it feel like it's the arrived moment, right?
That celebration नहीं है.
ठीक है. How do you prepare for it?
I think it is.
आपके mind में क्या चल रहा है इसके लिए?
So I think it is not about celebration. It is a new chapter.
ठीक है.
है ना? It is like a series होते हैं. Series A, B. You got like a early stage, mid stage, growth stage, public. तो ये chapter है. All of these are chapters. You know what got you from seed to A will not get you from A to B. The B to D journey will be different. The D to F will be different. Public will be different. It's not it's like a baby, right? Like a child. So 1 year is going to be different from the other year. And there's a new set of challenges, a new set of learnings as a parent and so on. So ये same चीज़ है, right? With my kids at home, every year I am first learning to become a parent again. अब क्या करना होता है इसमें? 12-year-old teenagers are very, very hard to manage, right? So a lot of, you have to learn. So I think it is like that for the whole company. So it is good as a testament of governance, discipline, etc. That, okay, you have built a company that is now tradable publicly. And if that puts you in a league to say this is a company which is one of, thousands or whatever, right? 10,000 maybe, right? That's a good feeling. कि हाँ हमारी मेहनत से ये हम पहुँच गए. But the point is, you are getting into a chapter for the next 10 years. I'm actually very excited because it's a new challenge.
Absolutely.
Keep building products, scaling companies, scaling team, helping merchants, tick. Now this thing, okay, how do I manage this? Right? This is a entirely new thing for the company.
Yeah.
तो excitement के साथ जो भी आता है वो भी है.
Got it. No, that's super helpful. Finally, on the team side, right? I think no company building conversation is complete without the team. And again, longevity is very correlated to how you get team, right? How has that changed for you? क्योंकि मतलब
team is everything, dude. So team is everything. I think I think luckily as a company we understood that pretty early on, and we realized that the real IP of any company which is a knowledge company and not a manufacturing company is its people, is nothing else, right?
Correct.
The other thing I realized is after having worked in large corporates, I realized that बहुत inefficiency है यार, right? और बहुत lack of motivation है. मतलब I could see people in the US, like when I used to work there, and I actually understood why Indians were so successful there. Actually, that काम है नहीं, right? So it's like there's a lot of free time, right? There's a lot of work-life balance, which is okay. I'm not complaining. It's great, right? But the point is that it's also I just don't think कि India में वो culture survive कर सकता है. We are not people like that. We are not
Productivity per person
हमारी
हमारी
hardwired नहीं हम as employees also as workers we are not hardwired to be like I think we'll get bored and depressed. So I think when we built the company we made sure कि यार देखो one thing is and you know why I think this happens companies are not and we also don't do the best job at it right but we try to be very good at it to be able to identify who's good at what and let them do that because you know the whole world is wired to say no I want to do this job and if you don't do it I'll fire you or I will penalize you right or if you do it well I will incentivize you. Has anybody asked them what do you want to do? If they want to do coding or design or people or business or whatever, they will get good at it. Nobody has skills from before, right?
Yeah.
So I think we hire people, right? Not skills, not resources, right? And we work on those people over longish period of time, right? So I'm proud to, I don't know the metrics exactly, but if we had maybe, let's say in the first 3 years, hired 50 people, from gut, I can tell you 15, 20 of those are still here today, right? And doing scaling, not like, and then
Across
again,
12, 13 years.
Yeah. So there are people who are like that. And from our leadership team perspective, I think, you know, we've been able to get the people who align on mission. You always tell people that, look, if you join here, join because you care about this segment and you agree with our business model. Otherwise, don't join here. So don't come and try to change it. वो नहीं होने वाला है. And then the first sign of a speed bump, you know, you'll be like, I had thought as much. So we tell people first build conviction on this, then build conviction on us, right? And then come. So that way we take our time, we hire carefully, right? Our senior team is now 4, 5, 6 years old. All of our CXOs, you know, whether it's our CFO Tanmay or Atul who runs our shipping business, you know, we've acquired a bunch of companies in the past, you know, Gaurav, Ankit continue working with us from Picker. So there's very, very diverse team, mix of founders, professionals, you know, and all the, you know, mixed bag of the labs, the, you know, the emerging businesses and the core business is split between different teams. So I think it's the company is also run like a platform. This is what I tell people. हम enabler हैं, हम आपके भी enabler हैं. I'm serious. And we tell people that, look, it's my job to give you the best platform so you can be an owner. And again, it's the way the company runs. And people who don't fit into that, then they don't do well here. And ultimately leave or whatever, right? But the people who can thrive as owners, they end up staying because for them, you know, and there's a comment from one of my senior guys, Atul actually told me that you've spoiled us, where I don't think I can go and work anywhere else now because like this is my company, like this is our baby, my baby, not our baby, right? So I think that if you can bring that into people, then you can multiply the force of the founder and उसके लिए बहुत security और comfort, ability to make mistakes वो देना पड़ता है. Otherwise कि you can drive everything, it's faster because it percolates faster, but I think it's not more sustainable because then you are always needed in the loop. So how do you do more stuff as a leader? So that's our philosophy. I mean, it so far seems to be working.
That's amazing. And what's the headcount, Abhi?
About 1350s, between 13 and 1400, something like
That's
that.
pretty good size for like a company on this scale.
Yeah. So I think we that way will have super efficiency because see our business, you know, once a category is built, like our shipping business is built. Now every year if whatever I grow, I'm not like my cost is growing, right? All of that's going to go down, and we don't have any capex or we don't have any facilities, right, to pay for. So it's all pure bottom line in that sense. And every business that reaches that maturity will reach those maturity stages. It'll be the same thing. And with AI, I'm excited to see now how the operating leverage moves further, right?
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I think this is incredible. Awesome. We've covered all parts of the business. As we sort of conclude, I have a couple of like just final questions for you on the personal side. Sure. This is like mostly fun to gauge your personality. Sure. But the first one there is, in a world where Shiprocket did not exist, what would you be doing?
Actually, I've never thought about this.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would definitely be doing some dhanda for sure.
ठीक है.
Could be a shop I might be running. ठीक है. And I love tech. I was like completely in love with internet and बिल्कुल मैं घुस गया था उसके अंदर. तो it's possible मैं खुद एक D2C brand चला रहा होता आज अगर मैं Shiprocket नहीं कर रहा होता. I'm telling you because that's very possible. मेरा आज भी बहुत मन करता है.
और या तो एआई में कुछ कर रहे हो
या आज की डेट में मैं एआई में कुछ कर रहा होता, पर मैं अपना बिजनेस कर रहा होता, ये मैं श्योर हूँ. दिस आई कैन टेल यू फॉर राइटिंग, बिकॉज सी when we started the business, like people ask me what problem were you solving. ऐसे मैं अपनी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहा था कि मुझे जॉब नहीं करनी थी, which is that is the reality. That's how much Gautam and I wanted to क्या build करते हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं हम ये, you know.
That's amazing. I love that. One of the things that you said and आपने पहले भी बोला है, which is that 2012 में you had an opinion कि e-commerce तो चलेगा. 2025 में what is your opinion on 2030 if you had to
100% चलेगा.
नहीं, on just general like मतलब
देखो, India has 6-7-8% penetration of e-commerce, okay, on traditional retail. China is like 30-40%, US is 25-30%, मतलब in that range. India में GDP अभी $2,500-3,000 है. There is this $4,000-5,000 mark, right? Again, it's not my mark. There's some reports, right? They talk about how in China the inflection point, because discretionary spend कुछ होता है,
कुछ बढ़ जाता है, हाँ.
At that somehow there's a magic number and it starts to. तो अभी कुछ भी नहीं हुआ है, वो हुआ नहीं है. A lot of our digitization hasn't happened, right? I don't see it going down, right? It has to only go up. So there is the trifecta of the overall GDP per capita growing, hence consumption growing, discretionary income being available, AOV is growing, right? There is digitization, both on the consumer side and the merchant side. You've got the urban centers buying more and more. You've got the never bought before starting to buy. So you've got all of those forces happening. And now you've got AI, which will percolate this. I'm telling you, live commerce, अभी आप देखो इस साल में क्या होता है. Not कि हम कर लेंगे सब कुछ. But what's going to happen is, India जैसी countries में ना, उसका innovation potential much higher है. Because the unserved can be served. Now, क्योंकि पहले ही नहीं हुआ था because of cost. है ना, तो अब वो cost का barrier हटने जा रहा है और scalability का barrier भी हटने जा रहा है. Right? With this. Yeah. Who knows what? I'm not saying e-commerce.
I
I'm saying overall.
Bullish case. I was trying to more gauge कि unpopular opinion क्या है. That time 2012 में it was unpopular to say कि D2C बनेगा या
e-commerce बनेगा. उस समय तो e-commerce पे I will not name the partner. We had walked into We had walked into a courier, one of the carriers, right? उस समय तो so when we started CartRocket, which was our earlier. So we did CartRocket, which was our website building SaaS business. Then we built Craftly, right? That's when Akshay joined as a co-founder. So we were four co-founders, Akshay, Vishesh, Gautam and I, and we kind of, obviously, Shiprocket में हम सबको साथ में थे. Other people came at different times, etc. And then we realized with time कि ये बिना shipping and payments के चलेगा नहीं. अब उस टाइम पे पेमेंट गेटवे के लिए वन टाइम पैसा लगता था, 50,000 रुपए.
Really? Cannot imagine that.
तो अभी यार we want to enable 3,000 रुपए का हम SaaS ले रहे हैं, अब 50,000 रुपए पेमेंट गेटवे नहीं दे सकते. तो we started calling the payment gateways. We are start about Delhi, हम ये करना चाहते हैं. हमें तो अब क्यों करना चाहते हो ये? And rightfully so. Like भाई 50,000 मिलते हैं, तुम हटा क्यों रहे हो? हम 10 साल के लिए सोच रहे हैं, मतलब करना है ना, क्यों 50,000 रुपए लगते हैं इसके, करते कैसा आप? So ultimately we found a company, EBS, right, which became Ingenico, which became something else later on. And he told us, एक काम करते हैं, आप मेरे से बल्क में खरीद दो 100 अकाउंट, मैं आपको 1,000 रुपये दे दूंगा, आप आगे फ्री में दे दो या जो मर्जी करो. तो we took the cost as a startup. ठीक है, चल अब इनोवेट करना है तो करना पड़ेगा. And we started marketing free payment gateway, मतलब no setup free payment gateway. उससे customers आ गए. Then we did shipping. So I remember walking to the shipping office where prominent company told us that ये e-commerce कुछ नहीं है, राइट? कहाँ पर टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो? तो आई थिंक पीपल डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड. मर्चेंट्स वुड टेल अस कि यार हमने वेबसाइट बना दी है, हमें ऑर्डर ही नहीं आ रहे. अब देख मार्केटिंग करनी पड़ेगी, तो अवेयरनेस नहीं थी, राइट? तो उस तरीके से ई-कॉमर्स का एक केस बुलिश था नहीं. करेक्ट. इन द बिगिनिंग इट डिडंट फील लाइक लाइक अगर क्विक कॉमर्स 2 साल में वी कैन ऑल फील इट. वो ऐसे फील नहीं, इट वाज लाइक गोइंग, हाँ चल रहा है, कुछ हो रहा है, इट वाज हैपनिंग, बट इट वाज नॉट लाइक इन योर फेस,
आज कोई ऐसा अनपॉपुलर बिलीफ है जो लोग नहीं मानते
ई-कॉमर्स का,
या जस्ट जनरली व्हाट समथिंग यू बिलीव इन दैट?
आप एंटी बिलीफ पूछो मेरे से, मार्केट का एंटी.
आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू गेज कि मतलब वो अगर आपके पास फोरसाइट था.
ऐसे होते हैं मेरे, बट अभी मेरे को ऐसा कुछ
इंस्टेंट स्ट्राइक नहीं कर रहा,
रिसेंटली नहीं आ रहा मेरे को, टॉप ऑफ माइंड नहीं आ रहा. आई डू थिंक ये में बहुत सारी हाइप है, तो एज यूजुअल सब कुछ बढ़ेगा, फिर 50% चला जाएगा, लेकिन मार्केट वहीं रह जाएगी. एंड दैट्स हाउ एवरी एवोल्यूशन हैपेंस, राइट? कुछ भी बोल लो आप, whether it's food delivery or even Shiprocket's model, that's how it works. तो वो एक चीज़ है which is not an anti kind of theory.
Fair enough.
ऐसा कुछ है नहीं यार. I think quick commerce is like here to stay. कोई question नहीं है मेरे को उसमें. AI is big theme, big. आप बताओ ट्रेंड, मैं आपको डिस्प्रूव कर देता हूँ. You tell me कि 2-3 क्या आपको लगता है.
I think that's the magic.
I think SMB कॉमर्स, एक मैं आपको ये बताता हूँ, SMB कॉमर्स लोग समझते नहीं है. ये मेरी ग्राउस है. क्यों नहीं समझते हैं? बिकॉज वो एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे नहीं है. तो इट्स नॉट देयर इन वन प्लेस टू feel, right? But if you look at the size of even somebody as small as Shiprocket, right? In the big scheme, I'm saying, हम जैसी कंपनी ने अगर 5-10 years में इतना सारा हुक्स बना के वो बिल्ड कर लिया है, तो
और बनेगा वहाँ पे.
बहुत ज़्यादा. Not just us, I'm saying there are going to be many companies who will, and there are already.
Correct.
Right? हमारी प्लेबुक से भी लोग बना रहे हैं. We are also learning from other playbooks, by the way.
Yeah.
तो people are going on trying many things. Import export में इतना कुछ हो रहा है. Separate conversation
New
हो सकती है
retail
पूरी
is a
वो.
good one.
हाँ?
New retail मतलब online companies going retail.
Yeah.
मतलब 5 साल में mall will look very
तो
different.
एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको देता हूँ. चलो, इट्स अ गुड पॉइंट. यूएस में अगर डायरेक्ट कॉमर्स आउट ऑफ टोटल ई कॉमर्स लेट्स से 40-50% है, इंडिया में कम है. हाँ, वहाँ बड़ा है. लेकिन एज वी डबल क्लिक ऑन इट, इंडिया में क्यों नहीं हो रहा? वी रियलाइज की अ लॉट ऑफ इट इज लेड बाय द ऑफलाइन ब्रांड्स. सो द नाइकीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, द H&M ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, दे आर ह्यूज. उनके यहाँ पे द ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट इज नॉट अ वेबसाइट, इट इज अ सेल्स, इट्स अ चैनल, मैन.
Correct.
और उन लोग को दे डोंट वांट टू गेट बिजनेस ओनली फ्रॉम मार्केट प्लेसेस, बिकॉज वहाँ तो और ज्यादा प्रोनाउंस है उनका ब्रांड. एंड उधर ऑमनी चैनल भी बड़ा है, बिकॉज वो दे आर ऑलरेडी पेइंग हाई स्ट्रीट रेंटल्स, राइट?
Right.
The inventory is already moved through supply chain. वो कहते हैं इधर से fulfill करो यार. It's already there. And their issue is their customers are actually not walking into the store. India offline retailers, when we try to call, they say boss मेरा तो store नहीं संभल रहा मेरे से, है ना? तो इसलिए वो अभी नहीं है interested.
Correct.
But matter of time है.
हाँ, ये उल्टा भी होगा कि the offline brands will come online and companies like Snitch, Numi, Mokobara.
And you will have, अच्छा, that's what you were talking about. You'll have the online guys building.
Correct.
Yeah,
I think
obviously.
मतलब next 10 साल में mall will be like all the new old brands will be new brands in my opinion. Like everywhere you can see a parallel, and that will be very exciting.
I think export is a great one, right, for India, because as we continue building more and more indigenous products, manufacturing is growing, right? One of our customers is called Snooplay. They come from a family business of manufacturing toys. Very innovative business. They're a marketplace. They are about to launch certain AI things on buyback, because toys clutter is a huge one at home. अब क्या है? This is like she's built a ecosystem. Anchal and Bridge have built it's not just a retail, right? अब ये ना, ये अलग ही कुछ है. अब ये एक फिनोमेना है आज की डेट में. Now they're getting into manufacturing, right? कि हम high quality toys बनाएंगे. एक साल बाद वो बोलेंगे हम एक्सपोर्ट कर लेते हैं. तो ना एक पूरा ट्रेड पीछे से हो रहा है. अभी यूके इंडिया FTA हुआ है. उधर लेदर, वेदर, अपैरल. अभी तो खैर ये पूरा वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर सेटल हो रहा है. विल कम टू नो हाउ द ट्रेड लेन्स मूव. थोड़ा सा टेक अ लिटिल ऑफ टाइम, राइट? बट आई थिंक दैट क्या बोलते हैं, एक्सपोर्ट इज फॉर इंडिया अ ह्यूज अपॉर्चुनिटी. ह्यूज.
And only rising. Just getting started.
बिकॉज ना ये पूरा ब्रांड इंडिया एक्चुअली मीन्स समथिंग.
Correct.
We may not appreciate it enough sitting here in India, but it means something today.
And it's getting
And
popularized a
India
lot.
is not considered to be low quality. India may not have the things they need, है ना? But it's not really considered कि अच्छा ऐसा है नहीं, क्योंकि right, whether it's clothes or all of our spirituals, the spiritual tech market, if you will, can become massive in exports.
There's this company Petal which also won an award in Shiver, right?
Of course.
So अब उनका मतलब
there's lots of people. There's people doing gemstones, selling on
Vadham.
marketplaces. There's Ayurvedic stuff. There's wellness stuff.
Lots
Clothes, ethnic, fashion, सब कुछ आ रहा है.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think there are all of these trends that people can capitalize on, and you can tell that we are super passionate as a company about entrepreneurship. We want more and more people to become entrepreneurs, and I think it's a great time to be doing that in India.
100%.
अब कोई भी business कर लो इंडिया में consumer से linked, right? मतलब somewhere in that stack 10 साल बैठ जाओ. मैं बता रहा हूँ, you will make money that you can't think of, because we don't know what it means to be living in a country where the consumer spends or has a GDP of 7,000, 8,000. We don't know what that means.
Correct.
तो उसको imagine करना difficult है, I think.
Correct. तो बैठ जाओ, करते रहो.
मेरे हिसाब से stick it out.
I love that.
बैठे रहो, मतलब in the sense don't die.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. As a first time CEO, आपने qualitative side पे what have you discovered about yourself? Like what were new learnings?
Boss, ये time availability has also gone up and down depending on phase. etc. of the company. But yeah, there's been time. I cliche बातें नहीं बोलूँगा work life balance के बारे में, but I do think that what I said earlier, you have to make your job interesting somehow. And as a leader, if the founder of the company or the CEO of the company, you can to a great degree. We all have to do the grunt work, but try to make a job interesting. Then what happens is it doesn't feel that much, right? You kind of, pata nahi, somehow it doesn't feel like a very disjointed effect from home. And the second thing I do is I take my family along. They know what's happening, what's launching. So then there's common ground, na? Otherwise, it's like you do complete compartmentalization, which also works for some people, but not for me, right? जो बाकी का टाइम है, which is not spent talking about work, right, will go into spending time with my kids, right? I love hanging out with them. Lately, I've been playing video games with my 8-year-old son. I jam with my daughter, so she plays the guitar.
Nice.
तो उसका पूरा मेरा all of my equipment, Gautam had given me a great guitar last year that I was waiting to buy. कि लूंगा, तो he bought it for me. सारा उसने inherit कर लिया है already and she's getting pretty good at it. So I love
Very
jamming
nice.
with her now on the weekends. We make recordings, etc. So I love doing that stuff. I love running, so I make time every day.
Nice.
To get my 30-40 minutes of nature time, grounding time, thinking time and exercise. तो ये मेरे must do's हैं. इसके beyond I like traveling, I love to explore new places. Yeah, I mean it's just family and whatever, right? I mean ऐसा कुछ वो नहीं है special interesting
No,
कुछ
but
है
this
नहीं.
is good.
हाँ, नया interesting नहीं है कुछ बताने के लिए.
नहीं, this
कि यार
is
आपको
great.
पता है मैं weekend पे ये करता हूँ वाला नहीं है मेरे पास.
Music I wouldn't have guessed.
Music,
That's good.
music हाँ. So we both sing and play. AI करता हूँ बहुत सारा weekend पे मैं. तो every weekend I'm doing a vibe code by the way.
Oh.
तो कल इस weekend पे मैं I was pulling our AP emails, account payable emails, जो आज हाथ से हो रहा है, into a common inbox, and then parsing them through AI to say it can just build a view on something like an Airtable, and then slap a interface on top of it with Lovable and give it to the team. Now, this took me 4 hours on the weekend, right? It's not that I can't delegate to somebody, but I end up learning 5 things in the process. Then I can do this 5 more times. तो ये सब time मैं weekend पे लगा लेता हूँ because this is fun for me. This is not work.
This is very cool. I love it. हाँ, I was talking to a founder. उसने मुझे बताया कि इतनी सारी reimbursements होती हैं bills के like photos खींचते हैं तो he built a tool उसको agentically
बहुत easy हो गया है जब that's what I'm saying कि आज के 6 महीने पहले भी ना
correct
ये हम बात नहीं कर सकते. Today like post the podcast in 10 minutes I can tell you how to do this. Not do it for you, tell you how to do it. And the next 10 minutes you would have done it.
yeah
तो
exactly
इस world में तो यार ये सीखना ही पड़ेगा फिर.
Absolutely.
You cannot stay like you can't ignore it.
yeah. No, this is awesome. I think I've had a lovely time. The last question is a template. We usually ask the guest ki, let's go back to a significant time. So 2012, if you were talking to yourself again, what would you tell yourself? This is to learn from everything.
Don't die.
Still?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
See, I think I don't have those what would you have done differently because
not that.
मैं थोड़ा no regrets में जीता हूँ यार.
हाँ.
Right? And मेरे को ये अतुल बताता रहता है regret minimization framework. Right? कि यार I think it's an Amazon thing. I don't know. Where basically what it means is that you got to think in your head that by doing or not doing something, are you going to regret it a lot? If you're going to regret it, just do it. I know it sounds simpler than it is tougher to implement, but thoda sa.
It is also simple.
It is simple. I think you have to. It's a mental toughness, नहीं mental training है.
Correct.
कि how you approach everything. Right? So when you wake up in the morning, do you feel happy or do you feel upset? I think it's up to you because कुछ हुआ नहीं है अभी तक तुम्हारे दिन में. ऐसी कोई information नहीं आई है unless you're like stuck to your phone.
Yeah.
So it is mindset, right? To a great degree, if you ask me.
So don't die.
Don't die. Because I think that is the only thing. I know people say कि भाई this that, but luck जो भी है. But what I found is that luck है. Luck is very much part of it, but लक होने के लिए जिंदा तो होना पड़ता है ना. अगर आप होगी नहीं तो कैसे मिलेगा आपको लक. एंड आई टेल पीपल कि 3-4 साल लगते हैं. लॉट ऑफ पीपल टेल मी यार इट्स बीन 6 months कुछ नहीं हो रहा. थोड़ा 3-4 साल से पहले ना दैट्स व्हाई आई कीप आस्किंग पीपल व्हाई डू यू स्टार्ट इट. तू शुरू क्यों करा है? यू थिंक कि मेरे को एकदम आई विल मेक मनी. बिल्कुल ही रॉन्ग रीजन.
जल्दी से चल जाएगा तो
बिल्कुल ही रॉन्ग रीजन है. फिर आप कर ही नहीं पाओगे. इट्स नॉट अबाउट दैट. आई विश इट वाज इजी बट इट्स नॉट. इट्स नॉट इजी. दैट्स व्हाई यू हैव टू वांट इट. और वो कोई और नहीं कर सकता. वो आप खुद ही कर सकते हो. You only know what's good.
No, that is so well articulated. I think Nitin, by the way, said something similar on the
of business.
Zerodha.
Yeah.
They also started like before before UPI, before mobile was a thing, but they kept at it. So when it inflected, they were the ones to win the game.
Exactly. Right.
They kept at it. Like
I
survive.
think वही है कि यार you have to and you'll only do it if you are passionate enough.
Correct.
So don't overthink it. Don't get FOMO. मार्केट में ये चल रहा है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, वो तो होता रहेगा, आएगा जाएगा. यू कैन नॉट बिल्ड ऑन समबडी एल्सेस कन्विक्शन यार. यू कैन ओनली डू इट ऑन योर्स. छोटा बिजनेस बन जाएगा, एटलीस्ट बनेगा तो सही.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people, ki don't, and I'm not saying don't think big.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is like if you're being in despair because of all of this, then just find your own piece where you feel यार ये मुझे पता है कि ये सही है. Maybe it's a small business, but rather than building something that nobody cares if you die, wouldn't you rather have only 100 customers who cry if you die? Like at least you know कि real तो बना है कुछ. That's what that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So try and stay alive.
That is amazing. Brilliant note to end on. This was an absolute pleasure, Sahil. I truly believe that Shiprocket is this unique company built for India, built a category, scaled it so well, and creating so much value for so many thousands and lakhs of MSMEs, which is incredible. So thank you so much for spending time.
Thank you.
The wait was worth it. So I'm glad we did this, and this was incredible.
No, awesome meeting you, and thank you so much for the kind words and for the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome, dude.
Hello. If you made it this far, you've probably watched the entire episode. And if you've done that, I'm really grateful. I and my team try to put in a lot of effort to ensure that we can bring the best quality content to you. So if you liked the episode, if you watched it thus far, my request to you is to share it with people, to subscribe to the channel, and to ensure that we can keep growing. We are everything and anything only because of you, our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll keep bringing to you amazing content. Cheers.